Well, we have some very, very important breaking news for you. Manchester United striker Mason Greenwood is out of the Euros, is out of England's Euro 2020 campaign. Let's head straight back to Rob and Jess, who are at England training. Rob and Jess, what can you tell us about this breaking news?
Well, we said it was going to be an intriguing day. We said it was going to be a day of surprises and shocks. We didn't expect there to be a shock long before we even saw the England players out training in less than an hour's time, or indeed when Gareth Southgate talks to us and names his squad of 26 for the Euros. But the withdrawal of Mason Greenwood is big, big news.
It is. We've already pointed out this morning that we expected either Mason Greenwood or Ollie Watkins to make it into the final 26 of Gareth Southgate's Euro 2020 side. It looks as though this gives a big boost to Ollie Watkins. But what a shame for Mason Greenwood, because he's been in such incredible form towards the latter stages of the season. He's scored, 7 goals since April for Manchester United, more than any other forward in the Premier League since that time. And you really thought that perhaps after, the problems that he had where he was kicked out of the camp late last year, hasn't been in the England camp since, that perhaps this was a chance for redemption, a chance for him to prove his worth within this England team, but not to be for this tournament.
I think it was important that Gareth Southgate did say when he announced that provisional squad that it was a clean slate for Mason Greenwood, if you like. All that happened in the past was forgotten. That's why he included him in this provisional squad of 33. But I think it's significant that this is an announcement that's come from Manchester United. It hasn't come from the FA. It hasn't come from Gareth Southgate. My impression of this is that it's Manchester United trying to stem off a situation where later in the day Mason Greenwood may well have been not included in Gareth Southgate's squad of 26 anyway. Of course, the other possibility, which is a strong likelihood, is that we know he's had an injury in the past and he needs, as a young player, to rehab from that. He's played an awful lot of football, albeit maybe from the bench for Manchester United. It's very possible that Gareth Southgate and the England medical team have had pretty frank and open discussions with the Manchester United medical staff and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where they've come to an agreement and said, look, he's not quite right. We at Manchester United could do with him having a break so that he's fresh for next season. How key is he as part of your plans for England? And Southgate's gone, well, look, we've got other options. If he's not 100%, we agree, we'll let him go. That's the sort of thing that happens at this stage, and it's why Gareth Southgate delayed naming his England squad last week so that they could assess the players, they could get the full medical reports. So look, I don't think there'll be any animosity between Manchester United and England here, but he was definitely a player who was on the fringes of whether he was going to make the 26. Clearly, after discussion with Manchester United, both parties have decided that it makes sense that he doesn't take part in the Euros. Huge story, though, right at the very start of the day, and we expect more of these to come later on.
Yeah, we do. But what now for Ollie Watkins, who's been so key, so pivotal to Aston Villa's success this season. 14 goals, 8 assists, and of course he scored in his England debut, didn't he? He's a player that Gareth Southgate does like. So you would think now, with Mason Greenwood out of the picture, this gives Ollie Watkins more of an opportunity to stake his claim in that final 26-man squad.
Be really interesting to see. We'll see Ollie Watkins, don't forget, when we have live training in, 45 minutes, 50 minutes time now on Sky Sports News. We'd expect him to be part of the 21 that are out there. 20 now, because we know Mason Greenwood will not be taking part. And when Jess talks about those forward options, it's of course Harry Kane who's top of the list and first of the name on the team sheet. Dominic Calvert-Lewin we expect to be the other central striker as his understudy. We feel that Gareth Southgate will want a third striker, a third central striker, albeit that Marcus Rashford and Raheem Sterling can play as a striker, if you like, in deputy for those. But a third striker was likely. And we know that Danny Ings missed out. We know that Patrick Bamford missed out on this provisional squad of 33. Ollie Watkins is a name that you can underline and in bold. Much more likely now that the man who had his first season in the Premier League this season for Aston Villa, remember, much more likely now that he's going to get the nod and be part of that 26. We'll know more in an hour, though.
We will, yeah. Looking forward to live training here on Sky Sports News at 11 o'clock. Stay with us.
OK, what a start to the day. Thank you both very much indeed.